Welcome to Story Mode, a video game podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Monroe, and tonight I'm joined by three boys who I have shocked into submission with various, just awful things I've said. Joel, Kyran, Simon, how we doing? How we being? How we feeling?
Yeah, pretty good. I'm being shunned over a bookcase for some reason I still don't quite understand, but...
And here he is dragging it into the main episode.
Yeah, of course. Gotta do it.
I'm feeling the energy for this week as well. Like normally,
Yeah, I
it's
came
a
and
good,
think
it's
I
a
had a
good vibe.
stomachache, and I still do, but I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, see, we recorded dialogue options last night, and like I had a stomach ache, by the end of it, it was gone. So yeah,
The healing power of conversation.
I think you're going to say comedy. I'm like, that was a reach.
No, I would never use comedy to refer to.
I would say
what
the
we do.
dialogue options episode we did last night was actually quite funny. This one, yeah. It's
I
a come
found it
down,
funny.
okay?
I found it funny.
I like
episode.
the episode we did. This episode
This episode
has
started.
it happened? Has it happened, Joel? Joel, tell us how this episode. What? Oh, you've
Don't
walked into
you
this one.
Fucking
What Star Trek episode? I'm gonna make it easy for you. What Star Trek film would you compare this podcast that hasn't happened yet to?
I don't watch Star Trek. It's fine.
Yeah, no, fair call. Fair call.
Yeah, all right.
Let's
Well
get
played.
Executed.
Get out of this one.
Just done.
Jeez, I've got
I like
nothing
that.
left.
People will be like, you know, if you're listening, if this is your first Story Mode podcast, thanks. Are you lost? Thank you. Stick
Yeah,
around.
how'd you end up
okay?
here? Like,
Stay here. It's beautiful. It's like Silent Hill. Just walk into the town. Just stay a while.
Stay forever.
You'd probably be scrolling around and being like, oh, you know, this podcast looks pretty funky fresh.
funky
jump
is a
in.
word I would use. Looks pretty funky.
Yeah, they're smaller podcasts. I'll give them a go. And they come in and it's just all this like pre-existing lore. And they're like, oh, I'm going to have to listen to the last 70 episodes to get this. No, you don't have to listen to the last two.
No.
Our lore is thick but shallow.
Recently
all a bunch of-
rebooted.
Real chode of lore.
We're all a bunch of really charming dickheads in like
Yeah.
various capacities.
Their very capacities is right. I'm at the bottom of that pile. All right. What have we been playing this week?
Well, on stream, I played God of War 2018. Decided to give it a proper go for the first time.
I never played it.
No, I played like, I don't know, maybe about an hour or two on the PS4, but it came at a really awkward time because I didn't have the time to sort of set aside and dedicate to it and properly appreciate it. And also I found the controls, just they weren't clicking with me for some reason. I was like, this is just, it's not sitting with me. But, you know, I appreciate it for what it is and I respect it for what it is. And, you know, like no harm, no foul, as it were. And then I've been caught up
Keep talking it up, buddy.
I've been caught up in the hype for Ragnarok, and you know, it's God of War 2018 has always been one of those games I'm like, I just need to give it a proper go. I just need to sink my teeth into it so it can bite me back and we get dragged down into this fantastic rabbit hole together. And I was like, you know, I just need the motivation. And then all of this hype for Ragnarok's been kicking off, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to do it on I'm going to buy it on PC. And I'm going to stream my first real impressions of the game. And yeah, I did that here on Twitch, twitch.tv/StoryModeAUS.
That's here.
And that's here. That's
are
right
now.
now.
You're already
Like,
here.
whoa.
You did it.
Yeah.
Unless you're listening to us on Spotify, iTunes, or any other good podcasting platform, and maybe you're watching us on our new YouTube channel at Story Mode Gaming. Wow.
Hey, that was really natural. Respect.
Thanks, man. Yeah. I'm gunning for a position at an E3 showcase to be one of the Twitch streamers.
Oh, okay. All right.
Womp womp.
But yeah, I got to the bottom of the mountain, that location. I met quite a few fun characters.
You meet the big grass turtle yet?
No.
Turtle.
Hells yeah.
Not yet.
Grass turtle's the best.
Not yet. I did meet the quite attractive forest witch and the...
She lives in the grass turtle.
Yeah, you would have been
Oh, yeah, sorry, that grass turtle. Right, no,
Yeah,
sorry.
big
the only
Venusaur.
Yeah,
grass turtle.
There's not more than one.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Grass turtle.
Sorry for the grass turtle spoilers. There is only one grass turtle.
So sorry for all the grass turtle fans out there.
Yeah.
That's
Hashtag
far.
grass turtle.
I did
That's
actually
far.
make a comparison to Torterra, the Pokemon, because that's like one of my favorite Pokemon. I was like,
Simon, this is why you and I get along, because we respect Torterra.
yeah,
And
Torterra's
did you
fucking awesome.
squeal as well when Detective Pikachu, like, the main set piece was Torterra?
Yeah, I was like,
Like,
yeah,
what
that was
do
so
you
good. That was so.
mean?
I was like, my boy, my Gen 4 boy.
It's like, standing up, he's killing hundreds. It's great.
It's so good. It's their fault for not recognizing the fact that they are standing on, giant Torterra. So it's their fault. It's not,
Yeah, but there's some, like, Wobbuffet.
Well, I mean,
having
like,
a
you're
nap,
not going to blame a
rolling
lion
down the back
for
of this turtle.
You're not going to blame a lion for
crevasse.
mauling someone to death if they're carrying around a packet of beef jerky, are you?
You should watch.
That's on you.
No.
All I'm saying is a Pokemon world is a terrifying world to imagine living in.
It is, actually.
I would not
true.
survive a week.
Also, sorry, a lion attacking somebody with some beef jerky in the pocket. Very particular situation there. Whatever. Don't have the beef jerky pocket. Eat the beef jerky. But when a lion
And then the
attacks like a
lion.
zebra, yes, I would chastise the beast. Okay, I would have harsh
For-
words.
for doing
I
as the
cheer and I
beast
boo
do.
when I watch David Attenborough documentary. Okay, especially those ones where like it's about like dinosaurs, because.
I haven't watched
Okay,
that yet.
to all
Oh,
the,
God.
to all the documentarians out there, and I know there's dozens of you listening, when it's all CGI, you can choose not to kill the baby dinosaurs. You know you can do that, right? You know you don't have to break our heart. It could be happy.
I think
it
I
could
watched
be fine. We know what happens to the dinosaurs at the end. It's not a good ending.
I think I watched some of the first episodes of that. Doesn't it open with like baby dinosaurs just like
Just getting
Just
smushed out of
eating it.
existence.
just getting eaten?
They're the fuel from swimming in the ocean, like T-Rex, get out of the water.
Yep.
You don't live there.
Yep.
And like a Sharkosaurus eats them or something. I don't know. It didn't have to be
Sharkosaurus,
there.
phenomenal.
Just simply don't have that scene. Okay? Poor character development. Cheap thrills.
Garbage
Sounds like a bit of a
writing,
dino
so-
crisis.
Hey.
Wow, that was okay. I kind of wish we were talking about Dino Crisis in this episode, because that would have been a really good segue.
We could just
Yeah,
talk about Dino
good.
Crisis and how much we missed it. I missed Dino Crisis.
And the fact that it's never coming back.
I know it's not.
But what is coming back is Resident Evil 4. We have a remake dropping next year. We're super excited about it. There was a big showcase. We got to see the most we've seen of the game so far, of the remake, obviously. And I think Kyran and myself were vibrating on a different level the day this came out, okay? Hovering. If you saw like bright lights in the sky, that was the two of us ascending. Don't worry, we've come back to talk about these games and obviously to pre-order them as well. But I'm going to throw straight to you, Kyran. Resident Evil 4. What did you think of the gameplay trailer we saw?
Look, the immediate thought I had, and I kind of expected it given how, 2 and 3's remakes went. But one of the things, look, I love Resident Evil 4, but I also would, after having played it and, so many years have gone by, I'm like, what if we went back and like made it scary? And it looks like Capcom's like, all right, I guess we'll do that. And I'm just, yeah, let's go. Let's make Resident Evil 4 scary.
So there's no point in us going back and telling us, explaining what Resident Evil 4 is, because it is such a seminal game. Like, it is the game.
It changed
This is the game
how a lot of games were made after it was released.
Yeah.
There is a very clear difference in horror games and just over-the-shoulder shooters
Yeah.
before and after Resident Evil 4. That was a Resident Evil game that got me into shooters, really, and horror games. It was a big game in my life, Resident Evil 4. And I agree, like, you think back of it, you think back to it, and it's like, I want more of this, but I do want a different take on it.
Yeah.
And they've gone real dark on this and real
have.
intense. So in the trailer, we get to see the village fight, the infamous village fight at the start of the game, where you fight a bunch of Ganados and you fight Dr. Salazar and his medical chainsaw.
Salvador.
Salvador?
Salazar's the...
Salazar's the
Lord Salazar.
the dickhead at the end.
Your right hand comes off.
Dr. Salvador, yes. We get to see that whole fight, and the area even just looks different. It's smaller. It's a lot more cramped. The good doctor can break wooden structures to get to you. Ganados will hold you to let him cut you in half. You can set the cow on fire.
That was
And
very cool.
deliver a quippy one-liner afterwards,
Yes.
confirming that that it will keep the campiness of Resi 4 alive.
Yep.
Where's everyone going? Bingo? Oh, such a good game.
A cool feature as well, just to before in the village as well. You know that big tower you can climb up into?
The clock tower that you used to be able to just like camp in?
Yeah. So if you climb up that in this remake, I don't know what the conditions are, but it collapses.
Oh.
A bunch of previews I've seen, a bunch of people who've previewed the game, so we're talking on Twitter, and they all had slightly different experiences. Like one went up to the clock tower and it collapsed. One of them was held by Ganado and just chopped up. There are a bunch of little context-sensitive things that will happen in that area, and I'm really hoping that they are just laid throughout the game, because that's, as somebody who's quite, has intimate knowledge of the game, I want to be surprised still. And from what I've seen so far, it looks like there are a lot of things they're tweaking. Even the story looks a little bit changed a little bit.
Like even like finding the first of the cops that you go into town with in the house. Like this is like, whoa, all right, this is how we're doing this now. It's interesting.
Yeah. And apparently Leon, it doesn't have the whole like super confident action hero vibes. He's a little bit like, this is weird.
This is kind of fucked.
There's a real Resident Evil going on here.
And there's
I've done this
apparently
before.
a training montage at the start that may also include Krauser as well, which will finally give some backstory to Krauser.
Oh.
Nice.
Okay, holy shit, I didn't know that.
That's
me neither.
awesome.
Oh no, I'm so looking forward to that knife fight.
I was going to say,
that knife fight is going to be sick.
because I know they've said they've scaled back a lot of the quick time event stuff, but I really hope they keep that.
Well,
like
because that's the
knife fight
thing. Like, because now they've got
as it is.
we see that very, very short clip of Leon sneaking around, right? Like that Krauser fight, the second part at least, was very much like a hunt. Imagine how cool that's going to be with like actual stealth and like sneaking as an option. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh.
It looks like you can sneak past Ganadas as well. Like if you duck down, they can't see you out of a window. Which is gonna, I can already think of areas in the game where that will help a lot.
You know what
Though
part I
you
keep
brought up quick
thinking
time
of?
events and the knife. You can now use that knife to block a motherfucking chainsaw.
Yeah.
At the cost of a knife, which is good balancing.
Yes.
Oh,
There's a
pretty much-
parry
okay.
mechanic that's awesome.
Yeah, because basically the knife has durability now. You can repair it when you get to the merchant. And different actions take bits of its like durability down, like stabbing someone and just that sort of stuff. And it looks like the
you
chainsaw parry
knifing?
will break it, which makes it a good like last resort, but also your knife is then out of action. So I really like that idea as a way to balance that. You get one get out of jail free card.
you
and
want,
then
you
better be
drop
careful.
your tail once.
Bit like
Okay.
Metroid Dread, and if the Emmys caught you, you had those two very split second opportunities to get out and run away. And,
Yep.
So I like that. I think that's a really cool idea. One thing though, is I see a lot of people sort of comparing it to Resident Evil 2 remake, and how a lot of the secrets were still kept in. And that's what I want the most, I think, out of this. Is like, I want there to at least be the acknowledgement of the secrets of the original.
Always shoot the big egg. Get the jewels.
Also shoot the lake a bunch of times. And
Yes.
also
Definitely shoot the lake.
definitely shoot the lake.
And save the dog. Oh, wait.
Oh, no.
Controversy.
Red herring.
So in the original Resident Evil
Red
4,
herring.
I agree.
this
Okay,
is
I'm glad we're on the
misleading.
same page with this. This has become the big controversy to come out of this the trailer so far. And the fact that we're all talking about it means they've nailed it. In the original Resident Evil 4, in the start of the game, when you're walking towards the village, you find a dog with his leg trapped in a bear trap. And you let him out and he runs away. And later on, triumphant return, you're fighting an El Gigante. He comes in, howls, jumps down and bites it in the dick. I can't remember. In this one, no, he is chunks of meat inside the game. He has been ripped to shreds. Kyran, I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah.
They will not do this. I would be.
no,
I
no.
will eat a copy of the game.
That dog's coming back. It's just going to be somewhere else.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I reckon it's gonna be exactly where you think it's gonna be. They're just gonna patch out that
Yeah.
the blood.
Oh.
I guess.
So they're going to do like a Marvel movie trailer, like
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like just
Yeah, pretty much.
bait and switch. Yeah.
Because they can't. Because, look, saving the dog in this game is good. Like, you feel good for it. But it's that moment later in the game, the payoff, that's like, oh, okay. And then you can't lose that.
So
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like,
the
Yeah,
gameplay
it's-
was good. But can we talk about that sweet story trailer as well? But just like,
You forget how bonkers and campy the story is.
yeah.
Condor 1, coming in to save the president's daughter.
I also kind of want. I know they said they're toning down the QTEs. There's one QTE I want left in the game, and it's the one where Salazar, when you throw the knife at him and he throws it back at you, and of like, because again, when I was watching that cutscene, I was just like, I can put my controller down, and yep, sure did cop that knife in the face and died.
Oh, yes. There's so many memories of the game that come back to me because I think when people think of the game, they think of the knife fight, they think of old Chainsaw Mate.
The lake.
The Regenerators
Shout out to the Regenerators.
are one of the most truly terrifying enemies in the game, especially the first time you fight them when you don't have what you need to kill them.
Imagine what they're going to be like
And
in
you
this.
don't know that. But also, I think what's really underrated is invisible bugs. You know one that spit acid? It was my second playthrough when one killed me in the sewers below the castle.
Oh.
I wasn't killed by one of them in the first run. Second run, one of them grabbed me and spits, like just vomits acid onto my face while Leon screams and disintegrates. It is a bit much. I'm looking forward to that a lot. And I also, I'm real bummed that no trailer we've seen so far ends with the merchant just saying, "What you buying?"
All right, we got
Like,
close.
imagine they had that and then they showed the collector's edition.
We got
Yeah.
close.
that would be good.
I'm still adapting to the new merchant voice.
Yeah. But it was interesting though at the end having like the big fatty merchant from Resident Evil 8
From Village, yeah.
from Village, sort of
What's
like
his name again? The Duke.
the
The
Duke.
douche, yeah.
Yeah, like him like sort of emceeing the event and then him sort of dropping as like I've got to go now, I've got a meeting with another merchant. And he sort of like alluded to I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah, the Duke mentions the merchant a few times in Village. And they're really hamming it up at this point. It's like, okay, we get it. There's only two people in this world that sell things and they know each other.
Yeah.
We get it.
And they've got like an inside like hookup on where these Resident Evil protagonists are going.
Yeah.
Because like
exactly.
that
they've
there,
got to
that's the money
discuss it.
line. I'll go there. I'll clean them out.
Do you reckon the merchant will mention the Duke? I know a fat fuck who would sell this for more.
I reckon. You know what? I reckon there might be.
I absolutely think they will. I think that's what that line that
Just
at the
because-
very end of the presentation where it was just like I got to go. Oh, I've already said too much. Like I think
it's like I used to have a real tall wife. Oh, okay. All linked.
salacious.
Speaking of wives, Ada Wong,
Oh,
I'm in love. I am simping like a madman.
I need
Absolutely
this
love it.
especially because I don't look. I don't know how many people here know Resi 6. All right, it's
No one does. Kyran.
good. Honestly,
No, what are you talking about?
I envy you, but I need this like comeback of Ada to just sort of wash away the memories of what happens to her character down the line because I just can't stand it.
Spoiler alert. Go for it.
Are you sure?
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
I need to. I almost need to like just double check really quickly because I want to make sure I don't get my Resi lore wrong. But in Resident Evil 6, yeah, there's this whole plot line about clones of Ada Wong, and the real Ada is like Carla Redeems or something. It's all tied to like
What?
the C virus from Resident Evil Revelations. It's just
oh,
it gets real
Wait,
convoluted.
Hold up. Wait.
Yes.
Revelations is the game I always wanted to play.
Yep.
That's the one on the boat,
That's
right?
the boat one,
Yeah.
yes. And it
And
is
it's called the C
it is
virus.
called the C virus. The
You
letter
sons
C.
of bitches.
yeah.
Yep.
Capcom know what they're doing, man.
So
Weird
good.
confession though. Like I've played through Revelations. I played through it on the 3DS. and like totally finished it, but I don't really remember that much about it.
Oh, me neither. Honestly, me
Like,
neither.
I feel like it was all
played
just
on
sort of,
3DS.
it's kind of like a nothing burger. Like it was all just
Jill Valentine was in it, and that was good because it's
like that was fun.
we just need more of Jill and Claire. No offense
Yeah.
to Leon and Chris, but like we need more Jill and Claire. You know what? Get Rebecca in there as well.
I don't love Chris. More Leon though.
Yeah, I'm a Leon boy. I mean, I don't have that much.
You should play Resident Evil 2 Remake, Joel.
I'm thinking about it.
It's like dirt cheap right now on the PSN. Like dirt cheap. Like $12 or
Between
something.
Ada, Leon Kennedy, and the Merchant, I've never simped harder for a fucking game. Tell you that much. Okay.
And again, like this is
Who
without
are you
even
fucking?
like when we start checking in Krauser and like some of Salazar's dialogue and he's like that fight against his like right hand man and like
Oh
the
yes, I
chief.
forgot about that. The only part of this game I'm not looking forward to doing it again is that last battle because it pisses you when you have the mind art gun.
Well, here's the thing. The one thing I want for this game is I want Sadler to not suck because I truly hate him in Resident Evil 4. I think he's so lame.
Do you mean like at the end when he transformed, or just as a
Just
character?
in general, like I was just like, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
So, but again, this is a chance for them to sort of go back and like, you know, do more with him so that when I get to that point where he transforms and Ada throws me the infinite rocket launcher, I'm like, thanks, Ada. I'm going to blow the shit out of this guy and enjoy it.
I think they really haven't shown much of him.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe they are going to take a bit of a turn with him.
Because
I'm also hoping the fish fight's a bit better. It's
Yeah.
iconic, but it's
Yeah.
also not that fun.
yeah, it gets pretty old.
Yeah.
It's true.
Like you just throw a spear
Just
at
make it a bit more dynamic. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
But that's what I like about the trailer. They showed a lot in the trailer, but when you really think about it, they're still keeping a lot of the later parts of the game, you know, under wraps. Like, you know, Krauser, Sadler, the island just in general.
Yeah.
Just all that other stuff is like, they're keeping that pretty close to their chest. So, like,
Yeah, I
hopefully
think-
there's no omissions like in Resident Evil 3. There probably won't be, but you never know.
Yeah, I think they are really sort of packaging these remakes as like, if you haven't played Resident Evil properly, this is a good starting point.
Yeah.
This is
Well-
if you've never played 4, then play 4 remake and you will get the full experience for the most part without the clunky tank controls and over the shoulder shooting and stuff like that. So
It's from all the previews I've seen, they've compared it to, because obviously Resident Evil 2 remake was really good.
yeah, incredible.
That was such a reimagining. That was a completely different game to the original. Where they're saying this, because the time difference between this coming out and Resident Evil 4 coming out is a lot less. It is an improvement, but it's an improvement on one of the best games ever made. So it's very good.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
Look, Last of Us Part 1 scratched that itch for me where it's like, look, I've played this recently, but it's just the best way to possibly play this. If I get that from Resident Evil 4, oh.
Hey, is it March yet?
Well, the exact opposite feelings that I'm having towards Resident Evil 4, I'm having towards Reverse. The game we all thought that maybe it was time had forgotten and we wanted to forget. Kyran, the fuck, man.
I don't know. I don't. Why are you wasting money on this, Capcom? Stop it.
Stop it. Give
Stop
us
it.
the money. Give anyone the money. I don't give a shit.
You know what? Actually, maybe selfishly fund it. Like, make sure the guys making Reverse get paid because it's Neobards and they're making Silent Hill F, so pay them.
They're making Silent Hill F.
Yep. Neobards Entertainment, the guys who made Reverse and I think Resistance and a few like HD ports. We'll get to Silent Hill later, but
The whiplash I've just felt.
I know. It's important to remember they are a development studio and they develop what they're told to develop, though. So I'm not
Yeah.
holding it against them, but Reverse does look incredibly below average as an experience
fact-
just in general.
The fact that they had the audacity to like treat it like a PUBG trailer with like the same style of music with that, whoa,
Yeah, that felt
And I was
really
like,
strange.
oh, this feels
And
like
from
I'm watching
watching
a trailer for like a
the
a new Battle
emotes
Royale
and stuff
game.
and all that. I'm like, no,
Yeah,
guys,
it
this
was
ain't
just
it
like
felt like a character trailer for another game. So these skins were being put into like a PUBG or a Fortnite, and this was the character trailer.
put them in Fortnite for God's sake.
Yeah, I mean, cool. Make everyone mold people in Fortnite. I don't give a shit. Whatever. They're going to rip off a different game, so it might as well be Resident Evil.
Yeah, true.
Let's move on to a trailer that is... Oh, a lot of whiplash in this episode. We're going from good to bad to good to bad, okay? I'm not going to speak much on this one because I think I need to let others have the floor here, but I will say that this trailer has not turned me around because I was already slightly intrigued, but this new Final Fantasy XVI trailer, Ascension trailer, is one of the coolest goddamn things I've seen. If it wasn't for that God of War trailer a few weeks ago, this would be the trailer of the year so far.
I think that's a fair statement.
For me, it is because I haven't watched that Ragnarok trailer, so this is my trailer of the year.
Once Ragnarok comes out and you finish it, go back and watch that trailer and just imagine how hype you would have been.
Yeah,
It's very, very good.
For sure.
This Final Fantasy 16 trailer though has come, I was saying before the show, at the perfect time because I just finished watching House of the Dragon, brilliant. Rings of Power, brilliant. So I'm peak for fantasy and political intrigue and houses fighting against each other. And that's what this trailer is. It lines up the different houses that are warring in the new game. Simon, just what's happening? What's happening with this?
All right. So from what we get shown in this trailer, basically introduction to the various city-states that populate this world, and the values that they hold and how tradition reigns true for this place, but ambition is wholly in this other place, and et cetera, and they're the Dalmescians or whatever it was, like their fortunes shift with the sands, stuff like that. So we get a little bit of an introduction to each of the main city-states, their values, and also we get a little bit of a spotlight on each area's dominant. Now, for a reminder, for those who might not be caught up, a dominant is someone who can channel the power of an icon, which have been the godlike beings and the big summons from previous Final Fantasy games. So your Ifrits, your Shivas, your Odins, your Titans, Garudas, etc. And yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. There's a lot to unpack in this trailer, and it's so goddamn gorgeous to look at as well. Like, I just love it.
Can somebody answer a question with this?
Go for it.
I think one of the coolest parts of this trailer is the reveal that these icons are sort of in the bodies of the dominants.
Yes.
But seem to be using them as a vessel.
Yeah, so yeah, it's like quite narrative vibes. I do agree with that. So it's
really cool. So it's a whole thing that the dominant to use the icon. It's like a symbiotic relationship, but inherently the icon is more powerful and will move on to another host when the dominant dies.
That's the thing, and that's I guess sort of the undertone of this whole trailer is that these icons, these dominants, these people are only being used by their city-states as weapons. And that's so far as the city-states are concerned. Like, they only think of these people as the weapons, as the dominant that they hold. They don't think about them as an individual or anything like that. So there seems to be this sort of growing discontent amongst all of the dominants about how they're being treated by their city-states and how much of a problem that is. And like the last couple of lines of the trailer sort of hint that maybe there's an uprising that gets instigated, and it will be awesome spectacle as like all of the massive fucking deities come to life and destroy shit, because fuck yeah, I wanna watch Bahamut and Odin and Titan just destroy a city for the fun of it.
You just remind me of that last trailer we got when their names were like the choir songers.
Yeah. So good.
Shout out to my boy Masayoshi Soken. All right,
Friend of the bloody show.
Absolutely. Like, I'm planning on going to FanFest in January 2024, and if I get an opportunity to buy that man a drink, I'm buying him as many fucking drinks as he wants.
Yeah, no limit on the drinks.
A genius of a composer.
I'm gonna have to go back to this moment. Simon, I calmed down about Ada Wong, so you need to calm down here as well, okay? I will remember this moment though, and look, I hope you get to meet him. But if I have to do the same edit I did for our PAX episode, I will.
Oh my god!
You just made a big call there, sir.
Wow.
Oof.
That's
Yeah.
rough.
If
Knock
I
it
get
back.
to meet
Knock
him,
it back.
if I get to meet him, all right, buy him whatever he wants.
The
tell you what,
composers for Square
You
Enix
heard
has
me
access to.
first.
The talent in those Square Enix composers is just insane.
Ah, incredible.
It's
They know so many
damn
of the
good.
best. Like, there's like, we'll use Soken, we'll use Joko Shimomura. You know, it's just like,
Yeah.
just plucking and just like making these incredible soundtracks. Jeez, my God.
I've been to a few like video game orchestras, and they play like a mixture of a bunch of different games, and I've always been quite impressed by the Final Fantasy stuff. But whenever like an individual sort of Final Fantasy centric orchestra comes to town, my partner will go every single time, and I've never gone. I think I'll be going next time.
Yeah.
I think it was in 2019 when Distant World was in Australia. That was one of the best things I've seen in my life. That was, it was beautiful.
Have you guys, Simon and Joel, have you guys been to a video game orchestra,
I have not.
like a symphony?
I went to one at PAX, like they had
was
like a
that indie- you mean
smallish
the
one,
indie one?
indie games one.
That
which
was good. That was
that was
good.
cool.
So good.
It was
yeah.
like Hollow Knight and
Oh,
yeah.
what's that mobile phone game, Joel?
Angry
Yep.
Birds,
Agent A,
Field
is it? No?
Runners.
The one
No.
with
Minesweeper,
the love story one that's like
Facebook, Hinge.
Florence. Florence. It
There
was
we go.
Florence.
We got there.
Yeah.
I tried.
Oh, you can edit that out.
no, you didn't, Jesse.
Or you can make it go longer if you want.
The last one I went
Sloop
to,
it.
we went to Sydney for a Pokemon one.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's cool.
And they just played all the like really recognizable songs from Pokemon games, and they played them up on the screen. That was cool. And before that, I saw one, and at the end, they played all the music from Soul Calibur, and then they got
good
two
shout.
of Australia's best players on stage to fight each other live
Oh
while the
my
orchestra
God.
played.
That's
Not
great.
in game. They just had to fight each other.
Just fist fighting to the music. Okay?
Just fisticuffs.
This is a symphony, and people are up cheering, shouting. It was so hype.
Like
One
when
thing-
I went to that Distant Worlds, it was actually really well timed because it was, 7 Remake was around the corner. So they actually
yeah.
dedicated a chunk of it. Like, we're just going to play a bunch of 7 songs. So I got to hear like all
That's
my
cool.
favorite songs by the orchestra. I was like, I peaked. This is as good as my life gets until it happens again.
Yeah. Well, that's
come back.
always a highlight of FanFest is the live concert performances. So they have, I believe she's an individual pianist, Keiko. I'm probably mispronouncing her name. But she's incredible. And previously, when they did it online and all of FanFest was live streamed, that performance, the music, like the piano performances were just incredible. And I was almost moved to tears in a few places. Like, it's just so stunning. And this is just Final Fantasy XIV stuff. And like, then the band, the in-house band, the Primals, they come on stage and they fucking smash it out the park.
Another thing I love about them, like they had like originally they had the Black Mages, never got the Primals. Like, it's just
yeah,
no,
it's so
Square Enix's
good.
handling of their music is just awesome.
Absolutely. And the fact that, like, I know when I was listening to the very first trailer for Final Fantasy XVI, I was listening to the music and I'm like, this is very Soken. I'm pretty sure this is Soken. Like, I'm almost certain of it. And then later it was revealed that he was doing the music and I was like, I fucking knew it. Like, I know he's got so many, like, characteristics in his music. Nothing's ever the same, but it's all got that little bit of flavor. It's all got that little bit of Soken seasoning. And the man is incredible. He's just got... Don't pull that face,
Token
Jesse.
seasoning.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Urban Dictionary, look at that one.
Let's slide.
Fuck's sake. But, you know...
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yes,
Nothing
Urban Dictionary,
yet.
I will define it. Go on with your little show. I'll be doing this.
I think, like, yeah.
Go for it.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, for someone who is, like, let's face it, a basic bitch when it comes to all this, like, Final Fantasy stuff. Like, I haven't played many at all. But I loved 7 Remake. I
Hell
adored
yeah.
that game. Yeah, I was in on that. And because of that, and now seeing 16, I'm like, yeah, I'm playing this game. I'm
In the back
absolutely
of my
gonna play this
mind,
game.
every time I see 16, I'm like, that's right. They poached the DMC guy.
Yeah,
And
yes.
combat, I'm like, oh
Yes.
boy.
And that was the other thing that's sticking in my mind. I'm like, oh man, that's very exciting. And I just love that part in this trailer where it sort of wasn't exactly seamlessly, but it just like transitioned from like cutscene straight into combat. And it was just like, oh wow, that's cool. All right, I'm excited for that kind of thing. And also, it's like fantasy kaiju fights.
Yeah, I was just about to
you
say
can't go wrong
that.
with
Like,
Yeah, it's Attack on Titan with like the
Yes.
Final Fantasy summons. I'm in.
That
Oh, not
sounds
sure
hell
Attack on
yeah.
Titan as well, but there was a very Attack on Titan moment in this.
Yeah.
Like very. I'm like, okay.
some of it. I got some like From Software vibes from some of it as well. Like just the scale and the grandeur
just
of
because
it.
of a particular like take on fantasy they're going with, absolutely. Like,
Yeah, true.
and like
Yep.
just like to, because it's always been Final Fantasy, but when they come back to the fantasy, like those games always
Let's
hit
find
home
more
hard.
fantasy.
it's quite interesting that you mentioned that though, Kyran, because I've seen so much discourse on Twitter because Twitter's an absolute hellhole full
Absolutely
of
it
some
is.
of the worst takes humanity's ever conjured up.
I don't know. I think
Endlessly
we're pretty good.
entertaining, but also an absolute mess. And so many people are like, but this isn't Final Fantasy. And
All
I'm
right,
like,
don't
yeah,
play it, fucking dweeb.
that's how
Oh
you
my-
know.
how
That's how
can
you
you
know it
still
is a
say
proper
that?
Final Fantasy because there's some little bitch online complaining that it isn't a real Final Fantasy. Like, shut
You know
the
how I
fuck
know
up.
it's a Final Fantasy? Because it's called Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
exactly.
crazy.
That's all it needs to be.
This franchise has been
title.
everything. It's been rhythm
Yeah.
games, it's been fantasy, it's been steampunk, it's whatever the fucking game wants to be.
It's been a racing game.
It's been a racing
has.
game. It's been a wrestling game or whatever. Guys with Cloud and all
I
that
was
in it.
halfway through this trailer. I was like, okay, this is speaking to me. This is really cool. The drama of it and just like the political intrigue really drew me in. But in the back of my head, I was like, but it's gonna be Final Fantasy combat, and I don't like Final Fantasy combat. And then
It's
as it
not.
progressed a little bit, I'm like, oh, I kind of wish this was like more Elden Ring at combat. But then I remembered that it's not really turn based anymore. It's an action game now.
Mhm.
And as soon as it started up, I'm like, oh, okay. All right, I'm in.
Whoa,
Yep.
hey, hello.
This may be a day one purchase for me, and that feels weird to say.
Can't believe
I've never
if
been
this-
into this franchise.
If this hits its date right and comes out in the middle of next year, I get to have the shot of Tears of the Kingdom, and then the chaser is Final Fantasy 16, and I'm not ready for
Yeah.
that. I'm not ready for that life.
Yeah,
That's
like,
gonna
gonna
spoil
be,
me.
That's going to be a hard.
But did you
few
eat
months,
your
mate.
did you eat your vegetables in Stranger of Paradise?
No, I want
You have to
to.
go back
I
and eat that
really
thing.
want to
Stra-
play it.
Strangers of Paradise is, from what I have seen, actually really
I
fun.
want
It's
to
definitely a
kill
Final
chaos.
Fantasy game. Gotta kill chaos.
I just couldn't wrap my head around the flow of combat properly. So that's on me.
Again,
But,
it's like it's Final Fantasy's take on Dark Souls, for better or
Sorry.
worse.
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
Right.
It's like
What's the
Sekiro.
name of the guy who wants to kill chaos? It's like
Jack.
fucking Bandle.
Jack.
Fuck, okay,
Jack
one of them was Jack.
Garland.
Jack Garland. My Jack Garland and my
mean-
merchant from Resident Evil, exact same voice.
Let's not get too
What
crazy
you
because like
buying?
the
Something to kill
protagonist of Final
chaos?
Fantasy 16 is called Clive. So
Yeah, don't
Clive
forget his younger
and,
brother
um,
Joshua.
Joshua, that's it. And I was
These
like,
aren't fun.
in my
These
mind,
aren't
I'm like,
fancy
but it's-
names. These are names. That's my cousin's name.
And you know
But
what?
I
You know
think-
what? After sitting for House of a Dragon, I'll take it. If I
Oh
hear
my
one more
God,
character called
between
Aegon, I'm walking into the
Jakaris
ocean.
and Bakaris and Aegon and Aemon and Aaron and
Daemon and-
everything.
oh, Jesus
Daemon. Just
Oh,
But I think it's, I
Jakaris and
think it's,
Jaharis
somebody
and-
needs to buy.
I think it's
George Railroad Martin, one of those baby naming books.
I think it's like Japan's version of like exotic names. I think is like.
Well,
Oh yeah.
Baby.
that's the way I'm sort of like
Clive.
taking it.
No.
Yeah,
See,
like because
I feel-
it's not a normal name for them. So
you're right, but I feel like it's also like steered. Like you had all the weird names. Like you had like Yuna, and you had Cloud and stuff like
Zac
that, which
Fair,
wasn't
Vincent
Yeah, like-
Valentine.
exactly like it's not straightforward names. Everything's a little bit weird, and now they've sort of overcorrected a little bit, but they've overcorrected just that touch too much, and now it's like Ralph.
I'm
And-
John Everyman.
I'm waiting for one of the characters to be called like Joe Blogs. Like that's what I want. It's just like,
Look, as long as
it's him.
Sid
It's
is
John
still there,
Smith.
just give me a
look.
Sid.
I've seen people speculating that Sid is the Titan dominant, and I really hope so.
That'd be cool.
Because
That'd be
that
cool.
would be so much fucking fun. Or people have been saying that he might be Ramu, in which case he'd be a Thunder God. So it'd be Thunder God Sid again, and I'm like, you sons of bitches.
That would make sense as well.
That'd be a nice little.
Maybe 2023, like everything I want is there. It's just like, it's so close. No offense, God of War Ragnarok. I love you and I want to play you, but I look at 2023 and I'm like, oh.
I think actually that's an interesting point though, that God of War is like taking the last opportunity before everything goes fucking mental next year.
Sorry. I think let's be fair here. If they wanted to move God of War to March next year, everything else would move for it.
I don't know.
It's not taking its last opportunity to be like, oh no, bigger games are coming out. It's like
no. I'm not saying in the sense that like, oh no, bigger games are coming out. I'm saying like this is the last opportunity before the competition starts heating up pretty strongly.
Yeah, it's a good time for it to come out. It's like this year.
It's just lucky it came out after Sparks of Hope, I'll tell you that much. All right.
You enjoying it?
I love it so much. So much. Also, wait, just real quickly, talk about games that are coming out. Have you guys seen the Sonic Frontiers previews?
That it's like Tony Hawk?
Apparently it's pretty good.
Oh, I haven't actually.
Sorry, I haven't seen any of the. You just said like it's like Tony Hawk.
I think that the IGN preview, like Mitch, the guy who did it, I saw a throwaway line about him like being like, it's kind of like Tony Hawk, and I was like, well, that's the most interesting thing I've heard about Sonic Frontiers. Yeah,
and also just like everyone else just imagine like Goldfinger playing while you're running up walls of Sonic, and just be like, why don't they just make a skating game with Sonic?
Well, they
like
did.
Like a parkour game more. So you're not actually so you're rolling around. So
because they made that
rolling around
Sonic
at the speed of sound.
They made that Sonic hoverboarding game. I forget what the fuck it's called.
Sonic Riders.
Let's get out of the green
Why
hill
do
zone.
I know that?
Let's get out of the green hill zone.
Joel, you love Sonic.
I hate Sonic.
No,
Anyway.
you don't. You love Sonic.
Get out of the
Joel
green
always
hill
tells
zone
me on
and
Dialogue
enters-
Options how much he loves Sonic.
If anyone talks over my brilliant segue one more time, holy shit. No, you know what? You don't get it. You don't get it. Nobody gets it. Hey, listeners. Kyran, Simon, Joel, block your ears. Block your ears. I'm looking. Take your headphones off. Take your headphones off. Okay?
So
Both
sweaty.
of them, Simon. Okay? Listeners, this is just for you. Hey, guys.
Can't believe I'm actually fucking
Simon,
doing
shut the fuck up. Hey, guys. Let's get out of the green hill zone and head into the silent hill zone. That's my segue.
Is it done yet?
Enjoy. It's done. You can come back in the room. You guys missed out. Okay?
What?
I was spitting sweet honey.
I want some
Silent Hill.
taquitos.
Let's talk about Silent Hill. Okay?
Which bit of Silent Hill do you want to
let's
talk
start
about?
At the middle.
Perfect.
I looked at what
That
else
seems
was around
very-
here, and it's at the bottom, but it's definitely at the top.
To be fair, with my limited knowledge of Silent Hill, that seems very on brand though to do.
Silent Hill,
like,
yeah, sure.
Just
It's
like,
like-
let's start
It's
in the
all
middle.
Also, every good pizza, you start from the middle if you think about it. What? Why are you looking at me like that?
No, you're
Keelan,
sort of
don't
like,
edit that pause out.
that,
Because I'm right. And like, if you think about it, the bit of the pizza that you start eating is the middle of
Yeah.
the pizza.
That was a
everything-
pregnant pause, but the pregnancy was an accident.
So was I. What's your point?
That's
Let's move
anime
on.
Silent Hill.
All right.
Wow.
Speaking of accidents, Bloober Team are going to be remaking. That was cruel. Silent Hill 2. And I don't know how to feel. Kyran, you're a massive Silent Hill fan. I've actually never played Silent Hill. It's one of those games that I've respected from a distance, but I'm very keen to get into it. If it was kind of more like easy to access the game.
Oh, if only, Jesse, we could just like get the classic games. You can play a really average port on Xbox because the HD collection is backwards compatible. But
And we could also be playing a very average port of it next year because the part of this that I do understand is Bloober Team.
Bloober Team.
And I look, I hope they come out and they smash that at the park, but I played Medium when it came out. I was excited for it and I was supremely let down by the game. I found it an absolute exercise in tedium. It was boring. And the big technical marvels of it, the loading up two worlds at once, didn't feel like anything. It just felt like other games have done this before.
When I first hit one of those segments in a Medium and it loaded, it was like, oh look, I could run both worlds at once. I'm like, but why can I not just focus on one? I don't want to be looking at my screen and have it be split screen down the middle. This is annoying.
Yeah, why don't we make one interesting world?
Yeah, I don't know.
Not two.
Well, no, because the story demands that there's 2 worlds.
But
and yeah,
I'm
deal
glad they
with
didn't make a
it.
sequel when they had 3 worlds.
look, we just need to be honest and come clean. Like the medium, it worked as well.
Aptly named.
It feels, it aptly named and was. It really does feel like their Silent Hill audition, right?
I don't think they nailed the audition.
No, me neither. Me neither.
No.
I've only
But
played
maybe some
like
other
the
places didn't audition.
first hours. But,
Do you remember, Jesse, like a
Vaguely.
year and a bit ago, when we were talking about like some weird like hot takes about gaming, and I said that Konami should sell the rights to Silent Hill to Capcom, because Capcom know how to make fucking incredible horror games.
That.
I stand by that. Now,
okay, so because here's where I'm at, right? What I like about Silent Hill is that it's psychological horror, and I don't
and
know
not
that
Resident
Capcom
Evil
have that in their wheelhouse. They
Maybe not
like Resident
per
Village
se.
had that little segment in House Buena Vida, which was like cool, but even that was more sort of grotesque horror.
Mm.
The person who could save the franchise had it
I know.
for a fleeting minute.
He
Yeah.
was
Somebody
there.
who
It was-
knows how to mess with people's brains on a
we
like
held
a
it next
brain
to us.
surgeon.
It's still on my PS4. It still exists. Ugh. We
And
deserve
now he's been
Silent
relegated doing podcasts for Spotify.
Hills. Killing news bits.
They're really good. They're really
They
good.
are. I've listened to a couple. They're good.
He's interviewing the guy who did Triple R in that Indian action film.
I haven't
Oh,
watched
Yeah,
the action
he-
film yet, but
He
need to watch
interviewed
that.
him, and he's that excited to interview him that they've changed the entire schedule of the episode coming out. Like he's bringing it out early because he wants people to hear it.
awesome. I saw
love
when
it.
he met him, and I saw when he face scanned him as well, because Kojima's just collecting all these like heroes' faces, I guess.
Yeah, he's really
Yeah.
building his own little metaverse, isn't he?
But
gonna
this
hang
will
out with
actually be
everyone.
fun.
I mean, I want to be in Kojima's metaverse.
Yeah.
Something I
this
would
is
throw the
something
word
actually-
fun around. It will be contemplative. It's going to be Death Stranding too. Not fun, but
That's
Something
it.
to
No,
talk about.
that's how he's going to launch Death Stranding too.
I like Death Stranding.
It's going to be a metaverse
Me too.
style experience, and
so
you're
why?
going
But it's not fun.
I didn't say it was
I-
fun. I just liked it.
Yeah, it's enjoyable.
I fucking love that game. So
I will build roads for the rest of my life in that game
yeah,
and then drive on.
Chuck
them.
us-
Anyway,
chuck on some low roar and I'm off.
Oh, that's
Silent Hill 2 is coming back. For better or worse. I don't know. Obviously, that's the talk. I feel like I almost feel bad for a remake because that is overshadowing the trailer, right? Is this discussion about Bloober Team, and
it is.
it's warranted because again, there's plenty of you can go and look up. There's many threads about the long list of things that they sort of get wrong with the medium in terms of like mental health and trauma and all this stuff. That's very very damaging, and to be picking up Silent Hill 2, if the leash is held short, I could see it working. But even then, there are still things I'm worried about. Like, I hope they keep fixed cameras in a lot of the interior areas because that's so integral to what some of the best ways that Silent Hill 2 just messes with you is just when it just takes. But here's the thing: this remake will hinge on one moment. That's one of my favorite weird things to Silent Hill 2. There's like a part in a prison. And there's this like monster you can hear. You can hear this prison monster, but you can't turn the camera to look at it. I'm pretty sure you can shoot it, and it has like a death sound and everything, but it's just you can't look at it. If I can see that monster in this remake, I will consider it a failure.
It's that same rule as like as Alien. The monster's scariest when you can't see it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Silent Hill
true.
2 Silent Hill in general is at its best when you're not. Yeah,
I mean, yeah, from someone who like is a big baby when it comes to horror, but like enjoys the idea of horror. Like the scariest things are the things that you make up in your mind, and that's like as soon as you see it, it becomes less scary. That's like horror 101.
That's what
like,
made PT so good because you were
Yes.
imagining what's around every
Yes.
corner, and that game had too many corners. That game was
it had
literally
a lot
built
of
around the
corners.
premise of what's around the corner.
it's all
Yeah.
corners.
It's all
Yeah,
corners.
it was all corners. But also, like, you raise an interesting point there, Joel, where, like, I also think it's not necessarily the best way to do horror, leaving things up to the imagination, but sometimes the best bits of storytelling are the bits you don't tell. And you leave the implications there for people to make up the finer details and, you know, fill in the blanks on their own. And, like, with Silent Hill, I feel like Bloober Team just, I don't have the confidence in them to give this. They've got an impossible task in front of them, one way or the other.
Yeah. I don't envy them.
No, absolutely not. And, like, to their credit, hey, they make some games that people do enjoy. People will enjoy their games, 100%.
Put that on the box quote.
Yeah.
There you go, that's the one.
Some people will enjoy it, I guess.
People have played our games.
Yeah.
Some of them enjoyed
Silent
them.
Hill 2, it's got like this almost mythical quality to it. Everyone who plays Silent Hill 2 talks about how incredible it is and how impactful it is and how it handles certain things and the twists and the turns and, you know, some of the jokes as well, like the dog and stuff like that. There's a lot about this game that is people are almost fanatical about. And
I can confirm that. I'm pretty fanatical about Silent Hill 2.
I can confirm that as well. Kyran is very fanatical about it.
I can confirm Joel knows it.
Yeah, I can confirm Jesse knows that Joel knows.
We've all got each other's back.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, like, it's just Bloober Team need to make sure that this is the perfect version of Silent Hill 2. And no matter what they do, they are going to disappoint some people. There are going to be some people that aren't going to be happy with the end product. But if they can get the majority of Silent Hill 2 fans happy, then that is the sort of thing that they can make a fucking trophy case for.
It really is, honestly, because the fan base is already against it.
Yeah,
exactly.
And for that reason, I actually don't think they will. It doesn't matter how good this is. There will be some Silent Hill fans who are simply, this is not the original Silent Hill 2. I do not like it.
Yeah, that's exactly how it's going to go down.
Look, like I said, I didn't like the medium. Mechanically, it was a bit lackluster, but the part I didn't like is the way it handled a lot of the subject matter. Exactly. And Silent Hill 2 deals with that subject matter on a completely different level. Like, it is emotionally terrifying, that game. And I really hope that because they're basically adapting an existing story, they can just amplify it in some spots.
Yeah.
But also it'd be interesting to see how do they change it for modern horror audiences, because horror games are now action games. Horror games are now just jump scares. They don't really deal with psychological stuff as much anymore. So the player base has changed. Even like Silent Hill fans have changed probably without knowing it. And they'll look back and it's like, once you got those rose-tinted glasses off, how are you going to feel?
Like, one of the things that's going to be, like, obviously, as we said, remaking this game is impossible for a great studio. But for Bloober, it's a big challenge. But one of the most important things, I think, is going to be balancing the combat. Because it has to walk that line of, you can't be, like, for later Silent Hills, where you felt like you were from the goddamn army and you were just like mowing down monsters. You can't have that, but also you don't want it to feel bad to play. You need to strike that middle ground where James isn't good at combat, but isn't frustrating to control or like use.
You know what game they need to take big cues from? Alien Isolation.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's what you don't see that scares the shit out of you. You never feel indestructible, but you also never feel totally helpless unless the kind of moment requires you to be. I want that. I mean, different games, but I want that same feeling of tension.
There's one thing I have no real reason for this fear, but it's a rationale in the back of my head that they're going to include more just maybe even turn him into somewhat of a pursuer enemy, the Red Pyramid thing. It's just like in the back of my mind, like, I don't know, I feel like that they might throw in more sections where he just pursues you. And I don't really want that because he's already overused outside of Silent Hill 2 at this point anyway.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I can't explain why I'm worried about that happening, but I just feel like if Konami is remaking this because of the success of like those Resident Evil remakes, which, let's be honest, probably is a big contributing factor. I worry that they'll be like, oh, but yeah, most games have these pursuer enemies. And we've got Pyramid Head. There's already a couple of sections where he follows you. What if we just have like more of those? And I hope that doesn't happen. I know that's straying more into like unreasonable fear for this remake, but now that's kind of where I'm at because the first trailer, I almost worry about showing too much already from that game as well. But that's just because I played it. And some of those sequences and the dialogue, I'm like, all right, you're just whacking that in there. Fair enough.
Again, as an outsider, I am just excited to finally be able to play that story.
Yeah,
That's-
I know, Joel.
and I just
I
hope
want you to
that
play
it's-
the best version of that story.
I know, but
Well,
I'll take what I can get.
the original does still exist. Old hardware still exists, and there's a few other alternative options. I'm just putting
Enhanced
that
edition.
out there.
Enhanced edition.
Arr.
Jesse's muted himself.
Yeah, I think Jesse's
I muted myself, and there was a reason behind that, okay? So I would like to just tell you about my last minute or so of abject failure as a host, okay?
Oh boy.
Now, Joel may know what's happened here.
Oh no.
I have been drinking these Diet Right passion fruit drinks. I need to pee, okay? And I thought, I'll throw to Silent Hill Ascension, okay? That's something that I give no fucks about. I will throw to the group. I'll go to the bathroom. I'll run back. How can I tell these sweet lads without interrupting the flow of this podcast? I know. I'll send them a quick chat on Discord. I forgot that Discord is feeding into OBS. So everyone just saw me say, hey guys, I'm throwing the Ascension, I can pee.
I've got the stream open on my other monitor, and I was
I'm
just
going to
like,
steer into that. Okay.
does Jesse know that he's doing
I'm
this?
going to own the moment. Okay.
Just own it.
Because you've just got to own the moment.
This is
sometimes,
Jesse's
okay?
Silent Hill.
That was my blooper team moment, okay? Blooper team. All right.
Oh,
Now we're going to go back to normal, business as usual proceedings, proceedings, if you will. We're going to act like this little sidebar never happened, and we're just going to roll with it. All right.
All right.
This will be on the podcast because
Excellent.
nothing's being edited out.
Yeah.
So,
Oh my god, Silent Hill, so good. Yes, Silent Hill, so good.
Yes, so-
Speaking of Silent Hill, though, we're also getting Silent Hill Ascension, which is some sort of like TV bullshit.
live stream
I'll be back.
interactive,
Hey,
quick
okay.
integrated thingy. I don't
I'm-
quite know.
I don't know either, but I'm kind of into this. I'm a sucker for this kind of shit. And it's probably going to be awful, but like,
That's the thing.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm curious.
I'm going to put my skeptic glasses on, and not like I ever really take them off. I'm going to be the disenfranchised, disillusioned, grumpy old bastard that I am. It's Konami. All right? Look, Konami come out of the woodwork once a year, release a half-baked, half-conceived fucking game, shit it out on every storefront and go, all right, we're done for the year. All right, let's go back to making fucking gambling. Yeah, woo, cool. That's all they've done for the past 4 or 5 years. It seems like they've gone, okay, well, people really want Silent Hill, so we might as well give them Silent Hill. Hey, Bloober Team, you do some horror games, I guess. Yeah, sure, cool, come on. And what else can we do? How else can we milk this Silent Hill franchise a little bit with some new stuff? You know, don't want to go back to the gambling with Silent Hill. We'll do something a little bit different. Jesse's finished peeing. You know, let's see what else we can do. So
The listeners at home can choose: did Jesse pee or did he not? That is Ascension.
yeah, like
That is my Silent Hill.
so it's one of those things where I'm like, it has the potential to be a really cool idea, but I don't trust in Konami to see the execution through to the potential.
Can I make 2
don't
points of
see
that
it
though?
happening.
I kind of agree with you coming from, but I actually kind of flipped it.
Go on.
Konami, look, they fuck around with some things, but I don't think this is the failure with Ascension. I just think Ascension's a bad idea. It doesn't matter who was doing it. This isn't going to work. I don't think fans chipping in to lead on with what the story's going to do, it's not going to, people aren't going to buy into it. And because if you're telling a story that can that easily just, take a turn, then it is not going to be the best story. It is a gimmick. It's not going to be good. My other point I want to make is, funnily enough, you know how they were making all these pachinko machines in Japan? The laws have changed, so you can't make as much money on them anymore. And now suddenly, hey, Silent Hill, we've got heaps of Silent Hill to go around.
Well, hey guys, check this out.
Don't worry, Metal Gear's next.
Oh, yeah, I'll be there for that. But like, it's
Metal Gear Ascension.
I don't know. Honestly, like, yeah, it's probably going to be a fucking garbage truck on fire. But like, I don't know. I watched this trailer and I was like, okay, I'm a sucker for this kind of shit.
We just don't know enough about it, right? The idea on paper, I'm skeptical of as it is, but seeing nothing really besides people talking about it, I was just like, it is really hard to get excited for this.
Yeah. And again, I understand your point of view there, Jesse, where like, oh, it's a terrible idea. I think the execution of a like live stream integrated story, maybe we're not there yet for something like that. Maybe we're not going to see the full payoff, but I also feel like you can't eventually get to where we'll have these really fun integrated stories without people making a few steps along the way.
Absolutely.
I don't think this is actually an idea that's going to change that much with technology. It's the basic premise of what the idea is. So the last time we had some sort of like interactive technology that I did anything with was Black Mirror's episode Bandersnatch.
Bandersnatch. Yep.
And that's not a good episode because
It's not, but
there's
it's
no
fun.
cohesive story. Think about the best stories you've ever had in media. They have been crafted. They are every
totally.
beat is important. Every single thing is important and leads into the next thing. If you can just suddenly flick a switch and be like, oh no, instead of going that castle, they go into the ditch or whatever. Don't know why that would be in Silent Hill. But I think it cheapens it. And I don't think any change in technology or anything, unless you can change the actual dynamics of what storytelling is.
Well, I just think that, you know, if that's your concern, then don't ever play a fucking Telltale game. Because, yeah, like, that's all the illusion of choice. None of it really matters. The exception
Mr. Man,
being of...
I haven't. Okay, so...
Well, there you go.
You showed him.
Got him. All right, like, cool, fair enough.
Hey,
you know, like...
Missing out. Walking Dead season 1 is
I was
very good.
just about to say the sole exception to that being the Walking Dead Telltale stuff that was phenomenal.
And not that I've played it, but also The Wolf Among Us as well.
Wolf Among Us season 1 is very good.
Just to go back to that though,
love that.
when you play Telltale games, every decision you make is yours. So you dictate where it's going. Imagine when the decision you really want doesn't go. Like they don't choose that and everyone else chooses the other thing or it's gonna be more, it's gonna be 2 options, it's gonna be 4 options, it's gonna be 5 options.
If this went more of a way of like the Quarry or something, I think it'd be fine.
yeah.
But going hive mind, that's...
It's,
I don't know.
Because how many
I
people are
think
gonna be
they're
honest
trying-
like do it for the memes? Fuck off.
It'll
think
be like,
it's-
hey, what's the quickest way to see a penis? You know?
Yeah, I think it's...
At Story Mode Gaming. We're also on Twitch, twitch.tv/Story Mode AUS. Plus we're on YouTube as well. Go on.
coming soon to OnlyFans.
Whoa.
Apparently.
No, but I think that's what they're trying to go for with something like this. I think they've seen stuff like The Quarry and Until Dawn and seen how people like to get together as a group and play it. And they're like, well, why don't we do this on a big scale? I think that's the thought process for it. I don't know if like using Silent Hill is a good idea for that, but
Like my concern with it would be that like for much the same reason that like playing Jackbox games with friends and streaming it isn't that fun because of the fact that the audience then get involved and then the audience vote if it's, you know, more than the amount of players you've got. The audience vote automatically wins no matter what, and the audience are always going to go for the lowest common denominator, which is going to be haha dick, haha penis, haha. You know,
they have started
balls.
trying to counteract that though. There are ways around that now as well.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
but
and
you know,
the games are designed as well to sort of not have that outcome as well, which is good.
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah,
like with things like Quiplash, for example, like you just right, dick, balls, fart, haha, come, and there you go. That's half
you
of
not
Jesse's
like our
jokes
podcast,
for
Simon?
Story mode. I was too busy shitting on you
These are the core pillars, okay?
of your comedy, perhaps.
That is our Triforce. Okay?
Oh, there's an image I need to make. It's just like 4 stone columns of like dick, balls, cum, ass. Just the 4 pillars.
Holding up.
Nothing could have prepared me for this.
Well, you know. F in the chat to that. Speaking of F, Silent Hill F in the chat. Is a new Silent Hill story coming out that is all about plants. Kyran, tell us a bit about this.
What do you want me to say? So Silent Hill F is different, I guess is the best way to put it, for what Silent Hill normally is. This one is set in the 1960s Japan.
Yeah.
Far removed from the usual sleepy American town setting of Silent Hill, which is a very
So does Silent Hill move? Is Silent Hill is it like James Bond at the moniker?
It's the friends we made. It's the friends we met along the way. That's what it is.
But no, I'm actually being serious. Is Silent Hill just the name of wherever the curse or whatever it is?
It could be.
That could really open the franchise up.
It really could, because at this point, Silent Hill is the town, and it has story and lore built into it. But if that's the direction they're taking it, then that would definitely, because I think I remember reading that even when they got towards the end of making their Silent Hill games, Team Silent wanted the franchise to sort of expand, grow out of what it was.
Because at some point you just stop going to that town.
Yeah, even in Silent Hill 3 and 4, you don't spend all of your time in Silent Hill.
I don't go to Epping much. Because I've had bad experiences there. I'm not going to go back.
Yeah, that town exists to torture people who go there. Why would you go there?
But also, you realize, Jesse, that more than one place could be called Silent Hill, right? There's not just one place.
I don't think they're going to get mad for calling a 1960s town Japan Silent Hill.
I mean, it could be called Silent Hill, but in Japanese, I don't know what that would be.
They should rename the game.
But
pull a Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
Back in Resident 7 Biohazard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe. But
they won't. I'm
no,
obviously
absolutely not. No chance.
I think for me, watching this particular trailer, again, someone with no real knowledge except for being friends with Kyran and having bits and
Joel.
pieces. Kyran and another good friend of ours, Ben, just filling me in on things. So that's why I'm aware of the franchise. But watching this trailer, it feels like, I don't know, what if The Last of Us, but a Japanese horror? Just in terms of
a Japanese schoolgirl instead.
Yeah, and the flower and
it's very
growing
Annihilation
things. Yes,
it's
actually,
because Annihilation,
good point.
what a film, but it's the color scheme of the end of Annihilation with the flower moment of Annihilation, when she with the person
man.
with the plants, because it has that really neon infused otherworldliness. It's a very particular purple
Even
that I really like.
yes,
even the music it feels sort of otherworldly for Silent Hill. The rendition of the Silent Hill theme that plays at the end of that trailer, I was like, "Oh, that is hitting different."
If they're steering away a little bit from psychological horror and going into cosmic horror, yes, please.
I'm in.
Look, this looks like a game that I think may piss off a lot of hardcore Silent Hill fans because you're a fickle bunch.
I mean, at this point, they're not going to be happy anyway.
Exactly.
So you know what?
Shoot your shot.
But Kyran, you are one of the enlightened ones. You're optimistic about this. I'm stoked
open
for
to
it.
it.
I'm optimistic for it.
On my list of games that I'm purely just
super
intrigued
open to
about.
it.
I may not play them, I may not buy them, but I'm very intrigued by it. This is at my top of my list now. I have an eye on this.
And it helps as well. I've seen people talking about the person they've tapped to do for the story as well. Ryukishio 7. I've seen a lot of people talking about him online and sort of stories that he chooses that he writes, and he's quite good at them. Loves throwing in, unreliable narrators, which Silent Hill loves, red herrings, Agatha Christie murder mystery sort of stuff. With the occasional not shying away from
Agatha
humor,
Christie,
but then also
Silent
into
Hill, let's go.
dark horror stuff as well. So I've seen a lot of people a lot of excitement for this game is people who are aware of this author and their works. So I'm willing to trust the hive mind in this. That attachment has definitely upped my interest as well.
See, I think just the setting alone makes this seem really interesting to me, because we've seen all sorts of variations of sleepy American town horror innumerable times, and I think 1960s Japan is such a specific choice
It really is, isn't it?
It's
There's
like
a lot
it's
of weight behind that choice.
yeah, like there's definitely like there's cultural significance for that era of Japan, and like the world as a whole, and it's just interesting because obviously Japan's such an interesting country and so many remote towns and
Friends of the
villages.
show.
Yeah, the Japanese friends of the show.
The whole country.
Yeah, absolutely. And like if you go to some of those sleepy mountain towns and villages now, they're all abandoned or in ruins or on their way to becoming like that, being entirely reclaimed by nature. And I think that is still a really cool setting, is to have those towns and those villages perhaps in their prime, but something's not quite right. And of course, with like the Japanese beliefs in all sorts of spirits and yokai and the supernatural being quite integrated into their society, I think there's a really good chance this is going to turn out to be something awesome.
Yeah, well,
like,
I mean,
really awesome.
The mention of like the symbolism and stuff. So the flowers that are growing in the trailer, they are red spider lilies, or Lycoris radiata. Yes, that's right. I did some research here.
That's my stripper name.
Which is what, red spider or Lycoris radiata?
Both. Depends
That's
on
the
the
full
day.
name.
Depends on the day. Yeah, I was going to say, depends on the day.
They've given Simon the Tuesday strip club. Tuesday afternoon. It's 11 a.m. Hold it then while it's for Simon. Oh, wait, your name wouldn't be Simon, would it be Red Spider Lily?
Yeah.
But much like Simon's strip show, it symbolizes death, final goodbyes, abandonment, and bad luck.
Yeah.
Also, the tryptophobia.
Oh my god!
Didn't like it. Didn't like
Okay,
it.
all
Don't
right.
like
I don't
it.
have it, but man, maybe this will develop.
Joel, you got it a little bit, don't you?
I do. Like,
Yeah, when I
I
saw that,
can't look
I thought
at
of
like I can't look at like a pomegranate cut in half. Like that fucks me up. Like,
Don't
it's,
play Scorn then. Everything's
How
all
do you
Yeah,
feel
I know,
about all the blossoms coming out of him? Then
Oh, yep. That's the only
was
part
that
where I was just like,
worse than the face peeling off?
the face peeling off is fine.
Was
I'm like,
fine.
yeah, it's like
I was watching that at
ham at the
work.
deli.
I was watching that bit of the trailer at work and I was like, oh, gotta scroll away from the face.
Oh,
It's no longer there.
But
it
it's not
literally
there
makes
anymore,
my
so there's
skin
no
crawl.
issue. Also, just shout out to Lockie in the chat, our good friend Lachlan, who's done a nice little raid to us. So hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome. We're Story Mode Gaming. We do podcasts, which we're doing now. We have YouTube. We have socials. We've got all sorts of things. But listeners at home, if you're wondering, hey, I want to see that raid happen just now, twitch.tv/StoryModeAUS. You can be part of that. See that?
You can
You
live-
see that
you
like
can live that
double
dream.
that double
That's like the third one.
angled
This
plug just then?
That was
That was
efficient.
good.
A double-ended plug is normally a different thing, but I just nailed it.
you've also I just got over my tryptophobia and thinking about that, and you've just like brought up like memories of Requiem for a Dream by saying that. So now I'm in a different state of like horror mindset now, where I feel bad.
This podcast is going places.
Yeah, it's gone to some bad places just then. Well, okay,
Really
let's
did.
move on to the next thing. This is the thing we didn't get to see much of Silent Hill Townfall. I keep almost saying Downfall, Townfall. All we really know is that Annapurna's making it, and therefore it's going to kick ass. Kyran, you've been playing Observation, which is Annapurna.
Yeah. I played Observation. Yeah, so Annapurna Publishing, the developer is no
Publishing,
code.
yes.
Yeah, this one, again, so one of the main takeaways I think you can say at the end of Silent Hill Transmission is like, all right, we've got a lot of Silent Hill games. Don't know much about them, but it's fine, I guess. Silent Hill's back. But the teaser trailer has already started to be, picked apart by fans, which has been kind of cool seeing the stuff they're finding in there. Just
The
like,
the sound scope image. So the
Yeah.
point where if you play an image through a soundscope, it says, or vice versa, you play the audio through a soundscope. Whatever. I don't know what a soundscope is. It may not even be called that, but it says the heart of this town is dead.
Yeah,
or
like
something along
whatever
those
heart
lines.
this town had has now stopped. And there's an SOS signal hidden between that says "Thy flesh is weak."
Okay.
Ooh.
So it I don't know.
Thanks,
and another one, there's a
game.
message that says "I don't know how to leave." So
Okay, that alone's actually kind of flipped my opinion, because initially when I was looking at when I was looking at Townfall, I was like, this looks kind of bland at the moment. I mean, acknowledging it's a very early first sort of look, but that's pretty interesting.
I immediately got
Yeah, some cool
vibes
stuff.
off because like with the radio and it's gonna sound dumb, the table that radio is on is a very particular shade of white that reminds me of a boat. I reckon that table's on a boat. So I've
Yeah.
got these weird
Okay.
Oxenfree vibes that you're on an island. And I don't know, the moment it invoked Oxenfree, I was on a different level with this game. This is one of those ones we know nothing about it, but just the little parts of my brain it's tickling. I got look, this whole Silent Hill showcase got me pretty damn hyped. Whatever it's gonna be, I get to play Silent Hill 2 for the first time.
Yep.
Looks so interesting. And Townfall, cool. I mean, I'd love to see what else we're going to learn about it. The other one, I've already forgotten what it's called. Ascension. Yeah, fuck it.
Ascension.
Whatever.
Don't forget the movie.
Oh, yeah. What was that about?
Yeah.
I didn't write notes about it because I just didn't care.
It's just they're making a movie of Silent Hill 2. And it's the guy who made the first Silent Hill movie, which is divisive, but depending on who you talk to, you'll get various opinions on
What's
the
the
quality
Kyran review
of that movie.
of that movie?
It's so I think I like it more than I hate it. There are things that I don't like about it, but like there are decisions that I'm like, I get it, right? Like including Pyramid Head or Red Pyramid thing. Even he's very strictly tied to James, but that was also the point where it's just like, fuck it, he's everywhere. He's here. He's in Silent Hill Homecoming. He's in Silent Hill Book of Memories, I'm pretty sure, that dumb Vita Diablo game.
I think so, yeah.
So like,
He's in a kart racer at some point.
he is in a
pretty
car
sure.
race.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
play as him in the Bomberman game that came out a while ago.
That's the one.
He was in the
And he was
Olympics
also-
game they made as well.
From a lot of
Yeah,
cosplays I've seen on Twitter recently, he's in my
Yes.
dreams.
He's haunting me. But the movie
He's in my dreams
itself,
for a different
I think,
reason.
is fine. As far as like video game adaptations go, I was like, look, there are concessions here that I'll accept, but one that I will not ever defend and will continue to hate is the sequel, Silent Hill Revelation, which is a take on Silent Hill 3, but it's god awful. It's terrible. It's so bad. And Sean Bean's in it, and I love Sean Bean, but he can't save it.
Oh, Sean
Jon Snow's
Bourne.
in it as well. Kit Harington.
Oh, so the whole crew's there.
The whole crew. Those
All
two.
the Starks.
Yeah, no, like, yeah, but this Revelation was terrible. I will give Silent Hill 1 a pass. Like, it was, if you want to watch a video game movie, it is acceptable. You get to watch Pyramid Head rip the skin off that chick, and it's just like, whoa,
You
that's
shouldn't do
something I
that.
saw. But I don't know. They seemed like they were speaking pretty highly of 2 with the showing of the storyboards and stuff. But much
Yeah.
like remaking the game, like turning Silent Hill 2 into like what, a 90-minute movie, I don't envy it. The one thing I will always begrudge those movies for is like they almost universally changed what Silent Hill was, even in the games, and that I don't like either. Like becoming like the rusted world as opposed to like having different takes on the other world. It was just like, no, now it is just rusty. I'm like, okay, cool, we're just this now. But yeah, Silent Hill 2 movie, don't know. I don't know where I stand on it. It could be good, but I just don't know how it's going to really work, especially like as a viewer.
I'm seeing an actual weight come off Karen's shoulders. I feel like you needed to get a little bit of a rant out about the Silent Hill films off your back. And you were
About
cleansed.
what? About the movies or
About the movies.
yeah. God, Revelation's so bad. Like, ugh. It's so bad. They bring back Pyramid Head again, and I just like, ugh.
Well, I have no good segue into the end of the show, so I'm just gonna pile on through, or I can go for a pee again. I don't know. Viewers at home, pick your option. Okay,
Oh, is this Ascension? This is
is-
like the early
yeah.
early
they should have
access.
called it. They should have called it Silent Hill Dark Options. Great name for a podcast.
Great name for a podcast.
And if you
Terrible
want to
name for
listen to
a
that
game.
podcast, you can on all great podcast services. You get to hear Kyran, Joel, occasionally a guest. I was on it last night. That episode will be out soon. While you're there, also check out Story Mode Video Game Podcast. The podcast is listened to now. So imagine you're already listening to it and you know where to find it. What a conundrum.
But just in
But make
case
sure
you don't,
like and subscribe it as well. Leave a comment, tell your friends about it. If you want to watch these podcasts, ooh, that's different and new. We do have a YouTube now. Just search for Story Mode Gaming. There are a few other Story Mode Gaming, so maybe just give us a like and help push us up that algorithm, eh? We're going to have a few special shows that will just be going to YouTube in future, and a few. I'm working on a review. We'll have our first video review in the next few weeks for Sparks of Hope. Hey, I'll give you guys a clue. It's real good. Real fucking good. If you want to keep up to date with all those updates and new content and such, follow us on your socials at Story Mode Gaming and also at Dialogue Options. You can follow us all individually on the Twitter sphere. I'm at Jesse Spanner. Joel, where can they find you?
You can find me at Jolie Mac.
Simon?
you can find me at Sci421.
And Kyran.
You can find me where I'm at Lemon Man X.
Where did Lemon Man X come from?
Oh boy,
That's a big story.
I'll give you the short version.
Oh wait, no. If you want to find out stuff like that, you need to be part of the post show, which you can find at twitch.tv/Story Mode AUS. That is thinking on my feet, just because I do want to hear the story. I don't want to give away for free. So make sure you go and check us out. We do have the pre and the post show. We talk shit. We normally just talk about alcohol reviews, to be honest. But now we're going to hear about usernames. It's going to be good. All right, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. This is a good chunk of games. There's some good stuff coming out soon, and I'm really pumped.
Survival horror fans are feasting, and it's a good time.
Very, very good time. And dear listeners, I hope you're having a good time. I hope you're excited for these games as well. Hope you're doing well. And we'll catch you next week. Be safe. Play some games. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Kyran, stop recording.
Thank you.